So Russians were asked on the street what would happen if Russia loses, and it seemed that everybody was just kind of unable to comprehend, or with great difficulty able to comprehend, the idea of Russia losing. What do you think happens if Russia loses the war with Ukraine? Well, I hope that everything will be good. Russia is big and it will win. And we'll go back to normal as it was in the old times. Because we were always friends with Ukraine. Always, always. There's not any rocky periods in there. It's just always friends. And we were always friends with the Canadians, actually. Always, always. Remember the 1812 friendship event we had with them? Very nice. But it can't possibly win. But I don't even think about this because Ukraine can't win. First of all, a nuclear power can't be defeated. Dude, I'm sorry. Okay. I gotta remember something. And I think we need to remember this too. If we were to go on the streets of America and start interviewing them about nuclear policy or like the specifics, I'm pretty sure the majority of them would not be able to cope well with the conversation, right? To just be blunt with you. But okay, so I'm just putting this out there to let you know it's not like, oh, all the Russians are just all ignorant and everybody else is so smart. I'm kind of becoming more pessimistic about human knowledge. But the idea that a nuclear power can't ever be defeated. What a beautiful level of ignorance. War in Afghanistan, not only for us but for them as well. I mean, they've lost wars as a nuclear power in his lifetime on multiple occasions, whether it be the war for Afghanistan or the first Chechen war. They've lost wars on multiple occasions. So I don't, as nuclear powers, as a nuclear power more powerful than the Russian government today, you can lose wars as a nuclear power. You can lose traditional conflicts as a nuclear power if you're intervening in other states, but the idea of someone invading you and taking over your country, that is what's basically impossible with nuclear weapons. So is the probability zero? Absolutely zero. If Russia wins, what would be the consequence for the world? They'd be exclusively positive. They would understand that Russia is fighting for a righteous cause if we won. It would protect its interests and civilians. Then Russia will declare that we are fighting for a more fair world order. Yeah, the fair world order is when other nations are under Russia's boot and they get to stomp on their fucking neck. That's the more fair world order. In reality right now, the subway collapsed and they don't have the money to fix it. It could never happen. Absolutely not. It's nonsense. No, absolutely not. Well, you know what? I'm sure this babushka will do everything in her power to stop that victory from happening. She will join the next stormtrooper unit against Avdiivka momentarily. The people who are most supportive of the war in Russia, and this is really sad, but it's also true about many wars, so this is not unique. It is the older Russian population in their 60s. It is the population that are least likely to be drafted or pushed into service, or quite literally cannot because they don't have the physical health to do so. Even though some people in their 60s have been pushed into service. That is the population that supports the war the most in Russia is also the population that the Russians cannot call upon to serve. And the population that supports the war probably the least is also the population they want the most to sign up for service because they are the healthiest among the population. Even if the Russians and the Ukrainians are doing some things to try to protect the democratic future of their country, with exceptions for younger people between the ages of 18 to 27 for the Ukrainians, and 18, and I forget the exact upper echelon of that for the Russians. But I'm asking people, and they say that Western countries support Ukraine. It's not going to happen. The West only needs the riches in our soil. They don't need extra people. I could not care at all. And I care zero about whatever the fuck's under Russia's soil. I couldn't care less. The only things I care about that are that are under Russian soil are the nuclear weapons that have world-ending potential. That's it. The United States has its own oil fields. Ukraine has its own natural gas and oil. If it has the ability to try to capitalize on that, I don't think this is all about resource gaining. They don't need us Russians. They don't even consider us humans. Okay, I didn't remember. I forgot that class in middle school. I forgot Russophobia 101. No. I'm only for our army. No, Ukraine won't win. No, I'm sure because they are people who are unprepared. Oh, they were unprepared. Oh, that's what. Oh, really? And the Russians were very prepared to go into this. Is that why the special military operation lasted a week? They were very unprepared. Very unprepared. See, when you live in an uncritical media space and that's all you consume, these basic questions are kind of that would fall in the face of any of these conclusions of the impossibility of Ukrainian victory. They're just not asked. Nobody asks them because you're not allowed to ask them. They don't want to fight. What is there to fight for? They say they are fighting for their homeland. What homeland? It's lost. That's it. Again, there's that imperial homeland. You have a homeland? No. We have a homeland. You don't have a homeland. We have a homeland. The hubris of empire, man. It's not gonna happen. They need to capitulate and beg us for forgiveness. Hey, man. If he wants to join the next assault team into Avdiivka, this is what the mandatory law, this is what the law of the land should be. Anybody who is between the ages of 18 to 45 who gets rowdy about, yeah, we need to bomb them and kill, that needs to be followed by, so are you gonna go? They come to one unified opinion. So they need to capitulate. Well, of course, on our conditions. There are no other options. If a dictator doesn't have enough brain and gets all the advanced countries against him, I'm saying Hitler did the same thing. So did Napoleon. He lost not only against one country, but against a coalition. Just like, well, meaning they have more resources. As I've heard, these resources are difficult to use because over there they have democracy. It's easier with autocracy. You're one person, like a czar, whatever you say. But sooner or later, I think, we're in for a long haul. But we already lack eggs and all the rest. Ukrainians are unlikely to win by force, in my opinion. Turmoil is more likely. People will start howling from hunger sooner or later. Hey, look at that. Look at that. At least, hey, there's still a little disconnect. Still a little disconnect. But there are still Russians in Russia who realize that anyone can lose if given the right conditions.